God always has a great plan for you. Let's start with Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11, which says, "For I know my intentions for you, declares the Lord, the intentions to bring you prosperity and not trouble, to give you a future and hope." Plans give hope for the future, and many believers now know that God has a plan and a purpose for their lives. For each creation on this earth, God has a plan, and each has its own scenario for the development of events. Every believer who accepts the life of God is transferred from the kingdom of darkness into the kingdom of light and begins to act according to God's plan. This suggests that each believer has his own purpose and purpose on earth, which are fulfilled according to the plans of God. Life is not given to be lived for oneself, but many believers do just that. For some reason, many people forget that they have their own mission in life, which they must fulfill. Now that it has been established that every believer has a task to perform, the preparation for this task must be approached responsibly. It's like being in the army. God will never send and train soldiers into battle. God trains each of his children, and if you are not properly prepared, then you are more prone to failure than others. You have to be ready to deal with all the difficulties. And remember, the more responsible task God has entrusted to you, the more efforts you need to make and the more training you need to go through. And it is very important to go through this entire period of training. Have you noticed that your lifestyle is different from the lives of the people around you? Although God's plan leads everyone to the same goal, the paths that people follow are different for everyone. And you should have noticed that God has a special relationship with you. Based on the tasks of each person, God teaches them his lessons, which each must learn. You can't miss classes in God's preparation because every lesson is important and every skill you learn will be useful for something.